let's look at the preference then, how that actually drives and how it influences our response, the way we respond to uncertainty. So understanding more about our behavioural preference can help us to have more control over the way we react to uncertainty. It's not a definitive answer, but it does add another dimension to understanding more about why we react the way we do during uncertain times. And it can give you an insight into what you may need to do to create more certainty, to enable you to live well and thrive despite the uncertainty all around us. Irrespective of our behavioural preferences, initially we are all driven by survival instinct that we spoke about earlier, and a stress response will be triggered. However, neuroscience has shown us that it is possible to take control of our thinking. For the first couple of seconds or so, the emotional brain will take over, and there is absolutely nothing that we can do about that. It's our natural human response to uncertainty. However, there is a window of opportunity of about half a second in which we can take back control and stop our irrational thinking taking hold. The good news is it's possible to train our minds to take back this control. So let's now take a look at how each of those behavioural preferences may respond to living in uncertain times. Ever ready, as we have just said. For the ever ready character, they initially, yes, their stress response will be triggered. However, we know that ever ready thrives on change and driving things forward. They love a challenge and are comfortable taking risks. Therefore, they are more likely to take up the challenge presented by the uncertainty, the unknown. They're likely to find a way to get their goals back on track and not really be fazed too much at all by the uncertainty and the unknown. They will work on the limited information available at that time and keep changing their plan as more information becomes available. The ray of sunshine, we know, thrives on novelty. All things that are new ways of doing things. They're creative problem solvers and like doing things differently. So these are the innovators, and therefore they will be able to see the opportunities presented by the uncertainty and the unknown. And they'll see it as a blank canvas and just want to start trying things out, finding new ways of making things work, new ways of doing things. They will most probably be in their element, enthusing at the possibilities that could be opened up in the future. Our carer character. Carers like familiarity. They like to know what is going on and what people are doing, including what they should be doing. Familiarity and the known provide reassurance for caring. So living in certain times can be a very worrying time. And they are more prone to experiencing stress and anxiety when nothing appears to be certain in their world anymore. A way of helping carers at the moment is to find ways of creating familiarity in their world. For example, if you used to meet Carey, or if you're a carer and you used to meet a friend on a Friday morning for a coffee, although we cannot meet in the physical world at the moment, you could continue to meet for a virtual coffee, therefore creating that familiarity of having a coffee and a catch-up with a friend. Familiarity could also be created by continuing to do specific tasks or continuing to do something the way that you have always done it. So for carers, it's about that continuity of familiarity. And lastly, Mr. Huey Bloom. They are at their best when they have rules and systems and processes in place. They like routine and structure, and knowledge is important. They're constantly being driven towards perfection. So we can appreciate that living in so much uncertainty can actually be very stressful for Mr. Huey Bloom. They need to find ways of building structure into their lives, perhaps maintaining a daily routine, planning their time. They may be more likely to thrive if they can create an office-like environment at home. or they may prefer to go back into the office as soon as they can, so long as all the safety protocols are being followed correctly. If you are a manager of people, having an understanding of the behavioural drivers and preferences of individual team members will help you understand and empathise with each individual and support them in a way that feeds their behavioural drivers. So Everready, for example, make sure they have a challenge and something that is an important challenge, something that they believe is an important challenge that they can focus on. And this will help them to thrive more in the uncertainty. The ray of sunshine. Talk about the opportunities, the possibilities. Get them focused on finding a solution or a new way of doing something, which again is integral to the business. Make them feel involved in the business. With careys, think about how you can create some of that familiarity. What similarities are there in the work that they're doing, or what familiar rituals can be continued within the workplace? Mr. Huey Blue, agree processes or systems, help them to structure their work or their time, provide them with all the available details and information as much as is available at that moment, and keep updating them as more information becomes known. As I said at the beginning of this section, the behavioural preferences are just another dimension to help us understand more about the way we're likely to react and respond during uncertain times. However, if we are going to leverage the power of our understanding of self, then it's also important that we are physically and mentally in the best possible place. If we haven't looked after our physical and emotional well-being, then we'll have much lower levels of resilience and find it so much harder to live well and thrive.